Welcome to the podcast of School Beyond Limitations. In this podcast, you will learn how to guide your child through their school life with the intention to help them find their unique essence that will allow your daughter, your son to live a fulfilled and meaningful life. Is homeschooling the right education for my child? My name is Dr. Martina. I'm the co-founder, CEO, and designer of the school model of School Beyond Limitations. If you would like your child to live a fulfilled and happy life, then this may be the right channel for you. Homeschooling, that's an interesting question. I myself, as an educator, looked into different models of education, of course, and you can imagine that homeschooling was also an option for my own child. So I looked into homeschooling for myself. Would I want my child to be homeschooled? And for myself, it was a clear answer. I didn't want to go into the segment of homeschooling. I didn't want my child to actually grow up just, not just, in a context of homeschooling where I would have to take the responsibility for all the learning and everything. I wanted to share this responsibility. I wanted to share also this experience with other people. I wanted for my child to also have the input from other sides as well, and to see it from a perspective of, there is the need for an entire village to raise a child. This is what I thought about. So for me, homeschooling as such, to keep my child at home, as we think about homeschooling, most likely was not an option. Also for my own sake, because I was wondering, can I really give all the perspectives to my child that I would like my child to be exposed to? So this was also an element. I think when we talk about the question, is homeschooling the right education for my child? We need to find the answer within ourselves. Fact is that the call for other alternative school systems and schooling modalities is there more than ever. And only lately, we have looked into this in more detail, and we have found out that, for instance, in the UK, we have a large number. We are talking of about 30% of people who drop, and even more in certain areas, who drop out of normal schooling, of traditional schooling, and many of those students either, decide to do homeschooling or find alternatives. So I think we need to understand, is homeschooling what I would like my child to have? Is that what resonates with me also as a family? Would I like my child to be exposed to what I'm offering my child? And there are lots of possibilities out there. But I think we also need to be aware that a child needs to be included in this kind of decision making. Of course, when a child is young, very young, it's the parental decision in the first place. And if the parent feels really, clear about it, then homeschooling may be an amazing practice, an amazing way, because I'm free, I can go with the pace of my child. And if I really give the child the foundation, because the first few years, we talk about the first 8 to 9 years, are the crucial years to lay the foundation, to lay a solid foundation with regards to personal growth, with regards to emotional well-being, with regards to the understanding of themselves, with regards to the exposure to the outside world, but also with regards to the skills that we will need for a lifetime. And those skills are reading, writing, and logical thinking, and problem solving, and all the other soft skills, of course, as well. But reading is such an important aspect from it all, because with reading I really not only um, involved in the process, in the mental process of recognizing words and making sense of the content, but it's also about broadening the horizon and getting inspiration from different sources. So reading skills and implementing reading every day is such an important aspect, as much as writing and as much as, looking at their surroundings from a mathematical logical point of view. So is homeschooling the right education then? Maybe yes, if we do that, but if we ourselves as parents and as adults don't feel at ease with the complexity of raising a child, of giving the child clarity and, also the exposure to lots of different um, educational experiences, then it's great to collaborate with a setting, with a learning setting that allows for the child also to be exposed to yet another adult who is an expert in the field, who implements, and all opens the space for lots of learning opportunities for the child, and where the child can um, take inspiration from. So I think it's really important to find the right balance. And if there is the possibility of finding the right learning environment, then we have another aspect that may be within the homeschooling context. And again, I'm not saying this is not the case. If, as a homeschooling parent, I create spaces where my child is exposed to other children and has social interaction as much as possible, then this is perfect. But I'm also talking about if there's a learning environment that allows for your child to be exposed to the perspectives of others, name them other adults or name them also other students, then this is an enrichment for your child as well. And I think on top of the social skills, it allows for the student to just broaden their horizons, as mentioned before. And as I said before, I personally did not opt for homeschooling for my own child for the reasons that I mentioned already. And although I'm an expert in the field, I felt I will not do justice to everything that my child would be able to learn by being exposed to other people as well. And on top of that, we know that people who work in the field of education and in the field of lots of different subject areas, they have lots of resources. They can give the support. If my child, for instance, wanted to learn an instrument and I was not able to teach this child, of course, I would look for another person. But if my child is exposed to a person who plays an instrument and who inspires my child also due to that, by seeing me playing the instrument, then this is an amazing possibility. And this is, for instance, something that happened also to my own child when he was young. He was exposed to an orchestra within his school setting of young people of his age at the time, 7, 8, who inspired him so much that he already the same day he came home, he said, I would like to play the violin. And this is how, education happens. It's an inspiration through what I see, through what I feel, through what I hear, through what I sense, and so forth. And the more exposure I have, the better this is. And of course, homeschooling, also means, am I ready, as mentioned before, or would I want other people to be involved in this educational journey of my child? And if I would like other people to be involved, then I think it is clear to move forward towards finding the educational system that's best for your child and that's best for yourself, to give yourself also this kind of understanding. Yes, this is what I would like for my child to happen. And of course, if I'm undertaking, let's pretend that you still say, I would like to educate my child at home. I would like to do it all by myself. And I can create the learning environment and the educational opportunities and possibilities for my child to the best because of this and that, and you have your own reasons. Then it's important to be informed about the legal and practical considerations that have to be, that have to be known before embarking on this, because this takes time, this takes energy, and it really takes the understanding, am I allowed to do that within this specific country that I'm living in? Am I ready to also embrace the potential complexity that this decision may bring with me? So if I'm, of course, living in a country where this is possible, as for instance in the United States or also in Great Britain or Ireland, then there's no problem. But other than that, I need to find out which kind of documentation do I have to fill in, which I kind of requirements, educational requirements or curriculum do I have to fulfill, and so forth. And that's very important. And as mentioned also at the beginning, I really believe, as a child, when your child is very young, it's you who make the decision. But as soon as the child has the possibility of having, an understanding on the basis of their experience, it's important to bring your child on board and to make a decision on the basis of what your child tells you with regards to homeschooling, whether yes or no. And that's important. So at School Beyond Limitations, I think we really attract many families who are, coming from the homeschooling arena, but do not want to do everything by themselves, and who seek for an environment that goes beyond the homeschooling context, who seek for something that allows their children to have this exposure I was talking to you about, where there is this kind of very, very strong and powerful collaboration between school and family and the student, so that as in a common commitment and common effort, a shared effort, we provide the best learning environment for your daughter or for your son. So if you think this is something that resonates with you, then you may want to reach out to us. Maybe it's really School Beyond Limitations then that is the best way in between, the best way that allows for your child to have still a learning and school environment around themselves, by being flexible, by following their own interests, and by being supported by highly qualified and dedicated professionals. And that's then the way forward. You will find the website in the description, and I'm looking forward to meeting you soon in one of our application conversations. At School Beyond Limitations, we support our students find their unique essence. Feel free to share the content of this podcast with other parents. We are here to show that your children can indeed bring their unique essence into life. So, reach out to us if you think that this is what you'd like your daughter, your son to experience, or apply through our website. Also, leave your comments, your questions, or your review about the podcast. Share it with others. And, as you know, sharing is chaos.